All right, what's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you back to another Real Talk video, and I pray that y'all are having a wonderful, blessed day as we give the Most High all the honor, the glory, and all the praise and worship. My title says, Most artists don't understand their contract. This is a video response back to you, Rap a Lot 46. You say you was looking at an old video I done about the industry, and I'm gonna come from a producer standpoint in this video, engineer slash producer slash songwriter, musician, whatever you want to call it, standpoint. So to my regular viewers, this video probably will be boring to you because this is a different type of video for artists, gospel artists, or if you rapping, like they want to say in the world, secular, whatever. Because real talk, they all go through the same thing. But I want to use this title. Most artists don't understand their contract because when you especially young, you hungry for business. You want that paycheck. Most of us, like in my race, we grew up poor, struggling, coming out the hood, projects. You ain't never really seen money. You ain't seen too much of nothing. So they see that when you come and they see a big, big dollar sign above your head, especially when you're young. But let me say this all top. It ain't just the young that have gotten done like this. It's grown people that have been messed around so many times, signed so many messed up, terrible contracts. But when you young, especially, let's just say this little guy out the hood. Everybody know how he can rap and sing. He's very talented, and everybody know that. It's just when it come down to it, he's the man. He can rap, he can freestyle. So they start talking, word get around, and then, hey, bring him to the studio. Y'all know how it go. Let's check him out. We need to get him to sign with a label. Let's bring him to my label. And that youngster be like, what? For real? They want me to spit. They want to hear me. They want to see what I got. So when you put a contract in front of them, then you got a signing bonus right beside them. What you think they gonna look at? Let me just say, yeah, that money up front. Let's just say that you got 10,000 stacked right here, 20,000 thrown at you right here. You young, you coming out of a single parent home. You tired of the being on Section 8 and the WIC, the government stuff. You want to buy your mama a house. They're not gonna really concentrate on this contract right here. And when you don't read a contract word for word, line by line, you miss out on a whole lot of things. But once again, they see a dollar sign above your head. I said the same thing about when you go to college. They see a ATM walking on feet right there. And I always said, even in the college, who's really benefiting? The ones that went to college or the professors or the ones that own the colleges? Who's really making all the money? Who's really in debt and who's not? A lot of college kids are in debt. A lot of parents have raised, not raised, but have wasted a lot of their money, on college. But it's all about the dollar sign. But what this world do is paint you a one-sided picture. Because you can look on, oh, look at that, come that new video. You see the cars, you see the clothes, you see the mansions, you see the jewelry, the women dancing, you see all of this bling bling. You see, oh, they famous. They done made it. But they never show you what they have to pay for and what goes on behind closed doors. So I ain't talking about what I heard, I'm talking about what I know. I've been in the studio since I was 12, 13 years old. I've seen the game. I know the game. That's why you have to really be on guard because they will take advantage of you. But once again, they only show you this one-sided picture. You see most of these rappers now. You see these videos, you be like, man, they got all that. But what they don't tell you a lot of times, and most of these artists, they don't own that stuff. That ain't even their house. They rented that house for the video. They rented that vehicle for the video. You know, that's not theirs. They rented that jewelry. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some that own what they have, but the majority of these artists they don't own half of what they rapping about. It just look like they do. You know who getting all the money? The record label is robbing them blind. How many of y'all looked at Straight Outta Compton when it came out? NWA. And NWA was a perfect example of how you can get robbed. You know, they was young, come out the hood, trying to make it, you know. What's his name? Jerry. Jerry saw something. But keep in mind, these brothers had never knew what contracts was all about. But even in his young age, I give so much props to Ice Cube. Ice Cube knew that it was something wrong. He kept saying it. But they were so caught up in Jerry, you know, Jerry making away Jerry this. Jerry was robbing them blind. What they supposed to been getting, they wasn't even close to it. And Ice Cube kept warning them, trying to tell them something wasn't right. And when Eazy-E's wife finally got a hold to all the documents and the books, whatever, she showed Eazy how Jerry was getting over on them big time. It happens to the best of them. It happens in the gospel field too. But once again, when you young, you don't concentrate on that. See, that money, which is that love of money, which is the root of all evil, it have your whole mindset just focused on, I gotta get paid. Well, it's more to I gotta get paid. It's so many rules to this. This is one of the most dirtiest industries in business you can get into, my brother. I know you. I hope you're paying attention to me, man. Because I'm not gonna sit there and lie to you. You know, when you young, they know that 9 times out of 10 you came from a poor place, and you ain't gonna read the contract. Probably ain't even gonna tell somebody to look over it. They just gonna throw something else at you. It ain't just talking about in the rap game. It happens in the NBA. It happens in sports. It happens all over. Do you think the ones that's really playing are making all the money are the ones that own the NWA? The ones that sign the checks is the ones that's making all the money. See, I was fortunate, even at my young age coming up, to read. I wouldn't sign contract with people. I made quite a few people mad. They would throw that stuff in me, and I would read. This just don't make sense to me. You know, it was revealed to me even then how they was trying to get over on us. I ain't gonna reveal no names, but when you producing and engineering, you know what I'm saying. You gotta really know the game. Some people just signing stuff, and they done pretty much just signed their life away. You signed this, and you doing all that labor, and you working hard, and that record label, sitting back collecting way more off you than you even know about. They benefit off everything you doing, and you the one in there slaving in there. We used to say in the studio, I'm slaving in the studio, endless hours. Man, tell you, you know what, you can get about 16, 17%, you know. And in that 16, 17%, that label is getting the rest. And in that percentage you getting, you didn't know you had to pay. God, I gotta pay for all this? What you mean? You thought you was gonna get a fat check. And then you start looking, oh man, I didn't know I had to pay the producer. Well, he wrote the song, you gotta pay the songwriter. You know, I didn't know when I went on the road, man, these hotels, all these expenses, the music videos I've done, I didn't know everybody had to get paid like that. You know why you didn't know? Because you didn't read and understand your contract. I did a video called "You Think a Million is really a million?" I did a video called How Do Rappers Blow $1 Million That Fast? Once everybody get through cutting your pie up, you ain't hardly got nothing left. You ain't hardly got nothing left. You look at, once again, like I was just saying, let me just say 12 or 13% on that dollar. What do you think really is happening with that? When you think about it, you got to split this, split that. I got to give this, give that. Well, you know what? Here go Lil JT. Lil JT cold on that keyboard. He very talented. He got skills, man. He the next Timberland. He the next T Draper. He the next this. He the next that. He the next Pharrell. Okay, Lil JT, I'm gonna give you a signing bonus right here. 20 G's. I ain't never seen that kind of money before. Let me jump on that. I'm tired of watching my family struggle. I ain't got no lawyer to overlook it. You see what I'm saying? That's why I said earlier, most of us come out of the hood, the projects. We broken down homes. You starving, you want to eat, as they used to say on the streets. I'm hungry, I ain't eating. You want to eat. So you take that deal. But once again, you better understand there's so many rules that go with this game. And this game will eat you up and spit you out. I've known so many brothers and sisters in the gospel and in R&B and rap that have signed terrible contracts. Terrible. And money look good. That money look good that they throw at you. But you got to understand your contract. And a lot of youngsters ask me this all the time. Well, JT, why? But they all on the radio. They song is the #1 hit song. It's being played all over, even overseas. They performing. They doing so much. They got to be getting paid. You can do all of that, but if you didn't understand your contract and what you signed, you just making them rich and more rich and more rich. But he had that #1 song. It don't matter. Let me say it like this. You got the hits, but you ain't got the money to go with it. Because you didn't read the contract. By the time you get through paying everybody off, you got enough money to go buy you a little burger with. And I mean that out of love. It's a low down, dirty business, y'all. A lot of artists have talked about this. Tupac, especially when he was alive, Tupac revealed so much about how he owed it people. You think I made this much money? I didn't. I think Method Man, I remember Method Man saying something about it. Q-Tip. They was all sharing. Busta Rhymes. A lot of them was talking about how they got robbed in the industry because it's crooked. That's why, let me go back old school for my old school people. That's why Ray Charles wanted to own his own masters. Ray Charles wanted to own it all. And he did it. We saw the ups and the downs of Ray Charles. But even back then, how many of them owned their own masters? And then look at what Michael Jackson done with the Beatles. What you think really happened to Michael Jackson? Do you believe the stories that they throw at you? Or do you see something different like I did? Because one thing about that game, like I was saying, is low down and dirty, and it will get you murdered. Because you know what's all tied in with it. As a producer, we can make a billion tracks, a whole lot of stuff, songs. But if we don't know the business, you just making other people rich. That's why, to answer your question, big brother, that's why when I did my album, I didn't go through no record label. I know what that headache is. I know how they gonna rob you. I did everything. My whole album, my blood, sweat, and tears happened right here in this house. I cut out the studio. I cut out the middle people. I did. When that song you talking about, I'm not saying this to boast and brag. All glory to my heavenly Father, the Most High. Yeah, I'm not saying it. I'm saying this to make a statement. That's me doing all of that. I produced my own album. That's me singing. I wrote my own lyrics. I'm the songwriter. I'm the musician. I'm the engineer. Because I know how dirty the game is now. Did I sell like I want? Did I make a good profit like I want? No. I expected it to go way better than it did, but hey, it is what it is. But at the same time, I got it done on my own back in 2012. I didn't have to go through all that headache. I went online, did my own copyright, sent it off, let it come back. Back in the day, we used to have what you call the poor man's way of doing copyright. Mail it back to yourself. Don't open it to the date. But now it's a better way online. But these are the things. See, the things we are not taught is what you don't know is what's really hurting you in this business. You will continue to just make others rich. They're going to continue to benefit off of you because you don't know the game. You don't know it. You have to. I always say it like this. These record labels, especially back in the day, they was raping so many artists with no Vaseline. The ones that own it is the ones that's benefiting and really making the money. But see, now it's a lot of studios have shut down and labels are starving now because most people have gotten smart and they bought their own equipment and they producing and engineering out their own home. That's why they hurt now because everybody's starting to figure out now, hey man, I can just do this myself. It's too much technology out now. I was talking to a brother the other day, that was engineering, and a big shout out to Paul, from Audio of Dallas. That man have engineered everybody's stuff, big time. He's a big timer, from Keith Sweat to Kurt Franklin, whoever you want to call out. Paul, man, when the last time I went to his studio, man, we was talking about that, with my homeboys we had went with. They was working on their album in there. But it's so many of them a lot of them are shut down because, think about it, most studios, depending on what the studio is, and if you may have a good relationship with them where they may cut you a good deal, but most studios, man, you go in there by the block, they hit you. It ain't cheap. If you ever heard the term buying studio time, some artists rent out a studio for an 8-hour block. Some studios charge you $30, $40 an hour. Some charge you more than that. Or they may, like I say, they may cut you a deal. So you think about paying $20 or $30 an hour or even more than that versus being in your own home, doing it yourself, and working on it as long as you want and not have to worry about being charged for it. See, the thing I tell people, artists, is invest in yourself. Everything can't always be done the cheap route. If you ain't going to invest in yourself, why would you want somebody else to invest in you? See, what am I getting at now? Boy, even in my teaching on something like this, I got to take it to the Bible. Stewardship. Most artists have never learned stewardship. That's why they get robbed. Most of us ain't never been taught to put up for ourselves, to keep for ourselves, to invest. A lot of old school artists lost a lot of money, millions and millions. And they sitting up now like, boy, if I would have known now, if I would have known what I know now back then, they wouldn't have got me like that. And then in our race of people, first thing most rappers are gonna do, they gonna go out and blow it. The partying, the buying the cars, the jewelry. ain't smart enough to invest. Some are, but some ain't. They just blow it quick. Kind of remind me of that movie Bow Wow did called Lottery Ticket, when he won that money. And old girl said, how did you blow $100,000 in one day? That's easy to do. Is 100,000 really 100,000? That was easy for them to do, because look at what they did. Went in the store, bought out. Matter of fact, let me get that whole section over there. Buying Nikes and shoes and clothes and jewelry and going out to eat at expensive places. Most of us ain't even got sense enough to buy a house. Then I got to impress my friends. Man, we partied. And then next thing you know, they broke. I want y'all to look at that video I did called How Can Rappers Blow $1 Million? Part 3 by Jero24. How can they blow $1 million? I'm saying some of the same stuff in this video that I said in that video. And then think about taxes being taken out. That's why I say, is $1 million really $1 million? Yeah, you see them on TV and you hear them on the radio and you think about royalties and all that, but have they made it? We so quick to say, man, boy, Tupac finally made it. Man, Jay out the hood finally made it. Wow, man. What's the name of them? I'm just throwing names out there. They made it. But what is your definition of made it? Because the ones that you say made it, you look around a few months later, you ain't heard about them no more. They starving. They trying to figure out how to get back on top again. And they really wasn't on top like they thought they was. I remember Steve Harvey said something real important. He said a lot of people think when you make it, you made it. He said, but making it ain't made it. The key is to figure out how to stay up there and make it and stay on top. To figure out how to stay. And most of them, they selling out. If you're going to really make it, you're going to have to do some rituals. You're going to have to do some stuff that you shouldn't even be doing. You're going to go through some stuff that you shouldn't even be wanting to go through. But how much does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Most of them done lost their soul. Well, what about old boy, man? He made that movie. And you ain't seen him in no more movies. They just fell off the scene. But he was famous, was he? He had that fame, did he? Can you be famous and not wealthy? See, we need to learn the difference between rich and wealthy. But they got the #1 hit song again, JT. Yeah, and they in debt. They owe everybody. He had to move back in with his mama. See, let me tell you youngsters something. Anyone can sign you to a record deal. A lot of y'all don't get that. Like I say, it's just like fresh meat coming. Anybody can sign you to a record deal. And you looking at that bonus. Let me tell you something else about that signing bonus. You're going to pay every bit of it back, plus more. You know what I call that signing bonus? A loan. That's your payday loan. JT, what you talking about, man? You scaring me now. I'm telling you the truth. I don't want to see nobody else get taken advantage of. See, this stuff I'm talking about right here it'll make a record label mad if they watch this video, because they know I'm telling the truth. I ain't gonna say all of them is low down dirty, but hey, the majority of them, they have gotten over and gotten wealthy off of the ones that you call rich. Let me go back to one y'all familiar with it, and TLC. Y'all remember TLC? TLC sold over 65-some million records worldwide. But you know how much they brought home? Probably about $15,000 a year. and then wound up having to file bankruptcy. You would have thought after setting over 65 million records, worldwide, they were super wealthy. But had to file for bankruptcy. And they ain't the only one that went through that. See, you got to know the game, especially if you are producing. Look at MC Hammer for an example. MC Hammer, oh man, Hammer, don't hurt him. And I mean this out of love. There was one point in time you couldn't stop hearing the name MC Hammer. But then look what happened to Hammer. Look at how much Hammer lost. Look at how much was taken from Hammer. And then if you have these habits where you blowing money, you just really going all the way broke. And this is another thing. You see so many artists getting sued because, since I'm talking about MC Hammer, remember, Can't Touch This. Remember that music? Who music was that? Rick James. Super Freak. Hammer didn't know, because if you don't read, I didn't know I had to change up something because, oh man, if I'd have known that, I would have at least moved this out the way. Rick James sued him, if I remember correctly. Look at what happened with Robin Thicke and that Marvin Gaye song. Marvin Gaye, what's that? He came out, You Got to Give It Up. And then Robin Thicke came out with that same one as for me. My point is, you got to know the ins and outs if you're going to sample somebody's music. But see, you got to study. You got to be taught this. And if you got that blowing money mentality, once again, a poor steward, you ain't going to make it in that field no way. Mike Tyson. Iron Mike blowed so much money. He'll tell you that. He told you that. Mike Tyson would do $4,000 parties. He got tired of the car he was in shifting gears. He would do things like pull up at the dealership, leave this car, but just get another one because I'm tired of shifting gears. Just blowing money. That's why Mike Tyson, he needed a financial advisor. Look at how Don King was making a killing off Mike Tyson. Ooh, man, he the heavyweight champion of the world. I know Mike Tyson rich. Once again, wealthy or rich. You look up Mike Tyson owed so much money. See, when you are wealthy, my brothers and sisters, you are in a whole nother category when you're wealthy. That's a whole nother status. They treat you higher and look lower on everybody else. I like to say that's a whole nother world in a sense. Because wealthy is way past rich. Way past rich. When you understand it. Wealthy, Chris Rock, I said this in my old video. Chris Rock made a statement in one of his stand-ups. He said that Oprah Winfrey was rich. He said, don't get me wrong, she's rich, very rich, got a lot of money. She said, but Oprah Winfrey don't have Bill Gates money. And then he made a little funny comment. He said if Bill Gates was to wake up and have Oprah Winfrey's money, he probably would slice his own throat. Because, once again, that's wealthy versus rich. Just like my boy, the rapper, I forgot his name, was saying, yeah, most of us look at Floyd Mayweather. He said, don't get me wrong, Floyd Mayweather is rich. He said, but do you think Floyd Mayweather fit in the category with Bill Gates? He said Shaquille O'Neal is rich. But the one that signed Shaquille O'Neal check, how wealthy do you think he is? Y'all, my brother, if you're still listening, it's a dangerous game, man. So many of them been taken out, murdered. So somebody else can move up the ladder, sacrificed. That's why when you hear about this Illuminati and all this stuff tied in, don't think it's a joke. It's serious, you know. See, once again, as I piggyback off of Ray Charles, when he owned his own masters, that's powerful. They didn't like that. See, most of these artists, they don't own their music. You know who own it? The label. The label own it. You know how many rappers are dealing with the IRS for tax invasion? Wesley Snipes, when he went to prison behind them taxes, Wesley say that's what Hollywood don't teach you. He said, don't nobody really sit down with you and teach you about taxes and all that, how to really cover that money. You got to know the ropes. Well, JT, how you know all this stuff and you ain't no wealthy dude? You ain't. And you know what? I don't have to be in that category because see, I know the price, that heavy price that come with this world system, and it's my job to tell and teach everybody the right way. Well, you talented, you gifted, you got skills. Let me ask y'all something. Is it really about your skills nowadays? I tell my boy Marvell this on the saxophone all the time. It ain't even about how talented you are no more. Was it really ever about that? It's past how good you can sing and play and produce and all that. Because you can have all that, but if you ain't business minded, you don't know the ropes of the business, they got you. They robbing you. But JT, I got skills, man. I hear you. You got all them skills, and they robbing you off your skills. Once again, you better understand stewardship. You know why most churches ain't successful? Because they don't even understand stewardship. They not business minded. How do you have a building fund for 20, 30 years, and you still can't figure out how to build your building? Your pastor don't even understand stewardship. Your deacons and trustees don't even understand stewardship. You've been taking up money. How much more money do you need to take up? Because you got to understand how to do things right and how to invest. See, those who invest, they are good stewards. They know what to do. I look at Magic Johnson, Irvin Magic Johnson, for a moment. And I looked at all he has invested in. And you wonder why he's very successful. Even when Kurt Franklin started owning those churches chicken, I got to get past this music thing, and I got to let me invest. See, the thing is, you got to figure out how to keep generating, how to keep generating. You came out with that #1 album 20 years ago, and you ain't done nothing since then. See what I'm saying? You got to know what to do and how to do it and when to do it. That's why I want to use NWA for an example. You know, Dr. Dre, Yellow, Ice Cube, you know, DOC, Ren. Y'all know all of them when they made that movie. But I'm talking about back in the day, though, when they first came out. But when you look at Dr. Dre, Andre, of course he was with NWA. But when he left NWA, when they left Jerry, he started his own company. You know what that company was called? Aftermath. That's when Dre started really going sky high. In spite of all the differences and what they went through back then and all the fallouts, but when he started up Aftermath, Suge Knight told him it wasn't gonna be nothing at all. It wasn't gonna even be successful. And then he came up with them headphones, what's they call, the Beats. That put Dr. Dre up to $620-some million in 1 year. 1 year. How many rappers can make half of that in 1 year? $620 million in 1 year. And then look at 50 Cent when the vitamin water, however you pronounce that. They ain't really got to rap no more. Because they invested in themselves, their own stuff. 50 Cent come out with that series, Power. One of your #1 hidden shows. People right now waiting. Man, I can't wait till Ghost come back on. Amaric. You know. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with Tommy and 50 Cent. And people waiting on that. Because he thought, I need to come out with something else that's past the rap game. They got past the rap game. They thinking. Look at Ice Cube. He passed. Ice Cube ain't got to rap no more. Movies. I don't know what all Ice Cube got invested in, but I know when he started making movies, I mean, that was just another. Now look at his son. Can follow in the same footsteps. See, when you become your own boss, that's when you up there. You got a different mindset. So y'all, I wanted to take time out and kind of break this down because you need to know this. When JT, I heard you talking about earlier about it's the same in gospel. Yeah, you think I'm lying? You know how many gospel artists done been sued? You know how many, they of God. Yeah, which God though? You know how many of them done had fallouts and can't stand each other right now? They wouldn't even dare get on the same stage with each other again. Or this record label robbed them blind. I'm gonna tell you something from the gospel standpoint, because I used to be in the studio with all of them too. You don't think they get high and run women and smoke weed and live crazy lifestyles? Oh yes, they do too. And they getting robbed the same way like the worldly way. Because it ain't just the world that want to make that quick money, that love of money. It's in the gospel field. Hell, look at half of these preachers now. Churches is being audited. Too much money coming in. Can't even count for it. I remember back in the day, what was that, 1999 or 98, Kurt Franklin and his label. What's his label called? Was it Centric, Gospel Centric, whatever their name was. They was getting sued for about $5.6 million. By 5 members of Kurt Franklin's band, his former band. Of course, they ain't with him now. They was talking about fraud and breach of contract. Not only them, God's property. They started suing also, saying they didn't get paid right. But the question is, did God's property understand the contract at that time? And I'm not saying this to down nobody when I'm saying Kurt Frank, hey, what you do is what you do. You're gonna have to answer to the Most High. I'm just making a point and I'm making a statement with these are facts. Sued. Once again, it's one of the most dirtiest businesses there is. Whether you wanna believe it or not, it's messed up. It's messed up. So don't think because, as I close, don't think because they on TV all the time and they coming out with a new album. Don't think they done made it because you see all of that. Because it's the behind the closed doors is what you don't really see. And if you don't study, you won't hear too much about it. It's your job to investigate whatever field you in, whatever your business in. And then let me just say this now, I'm not talking about just music. Whatever it is that you do, it's up to you to really check it out and investigate the ins and outs about it. I don't care if you want to sell t-shirts. You want your own catering company. Find out all the ins and outs behind what you're doing so you won't get taken advantage of. And stop being so impatient because it's not happening when you want it to happen. You got to understand that everything takes time. And if you don't have the mindset and the patience to really put the put the time in and do all your studying and all the things you need to do on your end. And once you can't go no higher than yourself, you need to get with somebody that knows something about something, that know how to do it. That's the best advice I can give you. And that's my time. I'm at my 40-minute mark. I love y'all, and y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed day.